Hi everyone, welcome to another live ukulele jam with me, Matt Stead, our Kanikapila Mondays. Super exciting. Really nice to have you all back. Today we're going to do songs, protest songs, so some kind of very famous protest songs through the ages. So we've got some classic protest songs from the going right back to the 40s and then the 50s and 60s, and we've even got a more modern one. When I say more modern, it's by the Jam, so 1970s, so not crazy modern. I still think the 70s was 30 years ago, but it obviously isn't. Hope you're all doing well. Hi Karen, Victoria, Pam. Hi Barbara, hi David. Hope you're all doing well, keeping warm where you are, and having fun. A few things to tell you about before we get going. Just the kind of the normal admin. I'll just move some of these bring some more people in. Hi Diana, hi Barbara, hi Andrani, hi everyone. So a couple of things just to let you know that we've got another live lesson coming up next week. Remember, we do these fortnightly, so next one is next Wednesday, and I'm quite excited about this. We're gonna do the 12th Street Rag, mastering the split strum, so that classic ragtime rag, the 12th Street Rag, and we're going to look at split strum. Oh, hi Alistair, great to see you, mate. Send in my love, mate. Really glad you could make it. So split strum, I've got a low G, so it doesn't sound great in low G, but that kind of classic. Yeah, needs a high G, so I'll remind everyone to get a high G before we do that. But it's going to sound super cool. And all this kind of... all those fun tricks. So I'm going to teach you how to really dig into that. And we've got loads of diagrams. I'll go really slowly and we'll have loads of fun with that. Hi, Steve. So that's going to be a week Wednesday. So let me bring it up on screen one more time. That's Wednesday, 5th of February. We're finally making it out of cold January into cold February instead. So really looking forward to that one. I've been going on about this one for ages and I will have a new one up soon. Hopefully by the end of this week, I'll have a new Beatles lesson up on the website. We're going to do I Saw Her Standing There. But if you haven't already seen it, go and check out the Yesterday one. It's a lovely chord melody that you'll find up there, which is great fun as well. And then just a couple of announcements if anyone's interested. The cruise, we've got 33 days till we sail from Fort Lauderdale in Florida. I cannot wait. Just getting crazy excited now, and the kids are jumping up and down and going mad now as well. But just to let you know that I've kindly been invited back by Donna and Harry for next year. So if anyone's interested, we're going to have another cruise next year, and the dates, I've got them on my phone in front of me, are February the 13th to the 22nd. So February the 13th to the 22nd. And this one's going to be the Caribbean again, but this time we're going to sail out Fort Lauderdale and we're going to have 8 nights. We're going to go to Antigua, St. Kitts, San Juan, Puerto Plata, I'm probably saying that horribly wrong, and a couple of other places. So that's all going to be coming up next February. So if you didn't make it to this year's one, we'll definitely be doing another one next week, which is really exciting. So, oh no, Shona set her playback speed wrong. Was I going really fast or was I like slow motion? Yeah, make sure you're on ×1, whatever you do, guys. And then the other thing I just wanted to mention ever so quickly, and again, I'm just going to see if I can bring it up on my phone. Is the Spanish Andalusia adventure that we've got happening, which I'm really excited about. And that's going to be, let me just see, 22nd of May to the 26th. All right, 22nd to the 26th. Matt from the Awesome Ukulele Academy is running a special Spanish retreat. So I'm going to go out there and teach with Matt, and we're going to have open mics, lessons all day, tour of the village and all that sort of stuff. It's a beautiful village called Gelsin in Andalusia. All of the details you'll find on the Facebook page, and I'll try and find some links later as well. So that would be fun. Oh, cool, Barbara. I didn't know that. Nice. I've never been to the Caribbean, so I'm excited for both years. It's going to be great. And as Karen says, sounds warm and fun. We could do with a bit of that, couldn't we? If the weather's cold where you are. So let's have a look at our sheets for tonight then. So you all know how this works. Thanks to Karen and Barbara, Indrani and Esther for all your help, as always, with the sheets. Couldn't do it without you guys. So we've got 4 songs tonight, including Your People's Choice. And we're going to start with This Land Is Your Land. This to me, it's like the classic protest song. A lot of people don't realise that it's a protest song, but it was really about workers' rights and also standing up for the common man when so much of our land in America, where this was written, obviously by Woody Guthrie, but also applies to Britain really as well. So much of our public land has been taken private now, so it's all about kind of freeing it up for everyone. Really brilliant song. Written in 1949, this one, by Woody Guthrie, who is, such a massive influence on everyone, from Bob Dylan, Joan Baez, all the folk movement. So this one is in an interesting key. This one's in the key of D. Notice we've got these cool little key signatures at the top now. So we've got D major, which has 2 sharps in. Thankfully, with a lot of these keys, the sharps and flats fall on chords that aren't used very much. So the key of D goes D, E, F sharp, which we haven't got coming up today, so don't worry, G, A, B and C sharp. The main chords, particularly in folk music that we use, tend to be the 1st, the 4th and the 5th. And in the key of D, that's D, G and A. And if you can remember that, it will really help with future Kanikapilas, but also other songs, because those are the most common chords that come up in any key. So if you can learn the 1, 4, 5 in most keys, you'll be able to play so much, which is really good fun. Karen, I totally agree, exactly. So this one is based on the 1, 4 and 5 songs. 1, 4 and 5 chords. Now, interestingly, notice that the verses, they start with a G chord. And for a little while, I've played this a couple of times and I've thought of it as in the key of G because that's the chord that we start on. But actually, if you have a listen, D is the chord that we feel rested on. Let's see if I can bring some lyrics up. So if I sing the end of the song, these last 2 lines, notice it's only really when it gets to the D that it feels rested. From the redwood far. Let me get my key on. This, hang on. Da da. There it is. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. Notice that it feels rested, doesn't it? This land was made for you and me. It feels rested on the D. And if I was to put G, it feels like it's asking a question. So if you're ever not sure what key you're in, play it through a few times and think about what chord that the song feels resolved to. And this one, it's the key of D. Remember then that each of these boxes represents a measure or 4 beats in common time. So that just means counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if the box is blank, it just means carry on playing the chord from before. And remember that every one of these chords, no matter what key you're in, has its own personality. So the 5 chord that we start the intro in is all about creating tension, and the 5 chord really wants to go to the 1 chord, doesn't it? And that's what we've got in the intro. We've got 5, A major, and then 1, D, where it feels rested. Just a really nice way to set up the song. So that's A major 2 1 0 0, just looks like this. Oh, I realised I didn't put one of my lights on. Let me just do that quick, just so you can see my hands a little bit better. Oh, it's decided not to work. Oh well, hopefully you can see it well enough, of just about, can't you? And then D, you can squeeze 3 fingers in, or if you want, you can do a stretchy D chord by barring the whole of the 2nd fret, little finger on the 5th. I prefer just to do it like this, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, A resolves to D. Fantastic. Now let's just talk about strumming on this one. This is a really basic folk song, so we want to keep this really, really simple. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, Karen. It's lovely, isn't it? That 5 to the 1, you feel that resolution. Cadence, what Karen means by cadence is a musical term, and it just means a phrase or the finishing of a piece of music. So that's a really nice cadence. So the strum pattern we can do on this is a really simple down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. Now remember, I like to think phonetically so you don't get worried about downs and ups. If you strum and just count in your head, walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. That's all you need to do on this song and it'll sound fantastic. In a minute, I'll show you a picking pattern, which sounds really nice with this as well, but we'll have a go just with the standard strum first. So when we come to the main verse, we start with a 4 chord, and the 4 chord has a little bit of tension in it, like the 5 chord, but not quite so extreme. And it tends to come in after the 1 chord, but here it's like Woody Guthrie reversed it. So we have 2 different forms of resolution. We have the 4 chord to the 1 chord. And remember, 4 just means in the key of D, D, E, F sharp, G, just means the 4th chord. So G resolves to the 1 chord. And then we've got that tension again of the 5 chord, which also resolves to the 1 chord. Then do you notice we've got a D7 after that? You can either take away your middle finger and play a Hawaiian D7 like that, or if you prefer, you can do this one. Both is acceptable. Well, why is that there? The D7's there. It's a clever way of kind of segueing into the next line, because any time you get a 7th chord, a dominant 7 is its full name. Whenever you get a letter and then just the number 7, that means a dominant 7. It's all about even more extreme tension than the normal 5 chord. It really pulls to the 1 chord. So by having that D7 there, because it's 5 above G, it makes you want to hit that G chord even more. So it's a clever little segue that. You could leave it out, but I think it sounds super sweet. And then the next half of the song, it just repeats what we did already, right? We've got 4 to 1 and then 5 to 1. And again, we've got a chord being turned into a 7th just to add a little bit extra tension. Let's strum through a verse so you can get an idea. I'll come in on close cam so you can follow mine. And let's give it a try. Let me just bring the lyrics up. Okay, so come in after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Gulf Stream waters to the Redwood Forest. This land was made for you and me. Just like that, and it just goes round and round. The brilliant thing about folk songs is we tend to get the same verse over and over. I always like to give the famous example of Like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan. The original version had 17 verses. It's just mad, right? This one only has 6, but it's the same thing over and over each time. Now, I promised you a bit of a picking pattern. Let's see, I think I might have to come in on close camera for this. I'm just going to move this out of the way for a second. Now, if you want to, you can do a really cool, almost like a ragtime pick on this, which sounds really good. If you hit the G string of your thumb, I've got a low G, which you can hear, but this works perfectly fine with high G as well. You're just going to hit the G string of your thumb. Then you're going to pinch 2 strings. I'm going to pinch the C string and the A string at the same time, like this. Okay, so thumb, pinch, thumb, pinch. That's the start of it. Okay, and then we're just going to do a really nice, it's almost like a banjo roll. We're going to hit G string, E string, C string, A string, G, E, C, A. See that roll? Now if you put those together, you get this nice roll. Isn't that cool? Now it takes a bit of speeding up. This will take practice, but if you do it quick, doesn't that sound great? This land is your land. Let me just get my key. This. Always have to do that 5/1 cadence to get my key. This land is your land. This land is my land. From the redwood forest to the New York Island. From California to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. Isn't that great? It's a really effective picking pattern. You can use that for ragtime songs, folk music, all sorts of stuff. So well worth having a go. Hi Charlene, glad you could make it. So yeah, take a bit of practice, definitely, because it takes a while to get that under your fingers. As with all things, what I would do is start off by playing it through really slowly and getting really comfortable with it. And then only when you feel really comfortable, start to bring it up to tempo. That's the best way to learn most things, isn't it? So fantastic. Yeah, no worries. The other thing, Barbara, if you want to keep it a bit more simple just to play along tonight, what you could do is just do your inside outside. So just, that's C-E-G-A, inside outside. This land is your land. This land is my land. From the redwood forest. Like that. I keep getting the words wrong, but that would be absolutely fine as well. So whichever works for you. I think what I'll do is I'll probably just strum it just so everyone can lock in with me. Now, a couple more things that we're going to have a look at. This one is in the key of G, a key of D. What? Let's see. I'm getting it wrong myself. This one's in the key of D, so you can use your D major scale to solo for this one. We usually use a D major pentatonic, don't we? Which is this one here. So your D major pentatonic, you will play the 2nd fret of the C string, that's your D, 4th fret for E, 2nd fret down here for an F sharp, 5th fret, your next dot there for your A, 2nd fret for B, lit, and then 5th fret for the high D there. All right. Indrani, I'll go through that pattern again in a second. So D, E, F sharp, A, B, D. So any of those notes will work in the key of D, absolutely fine. Just whilst I'm here, I'll just show that picking pattern again, because Indrani was just asking. So G string on its own, pinch C and A at the same time. I use my thumb and a finger. So G string, pinch, and then just roll G, E, C, A. 4, 2, 3, 1 if you do numbers. Comes from the banjo. There's a guy called Earl Scruggs, who is a famous banjo player, used to use 3 fingers to do rolls like that on the banjo. And it makes it sound like there's more going on than there is. It's really, really clever. Now, the other thing we can do with this solo, if we want to make it a little bit more interesting, because we're in the key of D, and we can't comfortably use its relative minor, because remember when we use the relative minor scale, we tend to go behind the major one, and we've run out of frets. So let's add some extra notes, and let's try the D major scale for this one. So you could still do 2 and 4, D and E. Then here, where you hit the 2nd fret, try adding the 3rd fret in for a G. Up to 5, 2nd fret, and 4th fret for C sharp and D. That's your full major scale. Just by adding those extra notes in, it gives you a little bit more to play with when you solo, which is fantastic. So have a feel, if you're not sure, have a feel about breaking out of the pentatonic. Now, why do you think we might do that? It's just to give you some extra notes, because there's a couple of notes that clash with a couple of chords. For instance, if you play this G note while someone plays a D chord, the F sharp note in the D chord clashes with it and it doesn't sound that great. So that's why the pentatonic takes out a bit of the risk. But then if you're really careful, you can easily slide out these notes and into another. So if you get one that just doesn't sound quite right, just move your finger back one and you'll be absolutely fine. Alistair's just asking for that picking pattern. So that's it. Oh, he's done it. Yeah, brilliant. No, that'll really help people, Alistair. So if you think about it as numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, you've got 4, 1 and 3, and then 4, 2, 3, 1, like that. I'll just leave that a bit smaller down here in case anyone wants to write it down. Okay. So if we were to do a little bit of soloing, it could sound something like this. Let me just get my speaker on. Hopefully that's gonna, there we go. Yeah, fabulous. Okay. So that could sound something like this. I'll do just the pentatonic first. But then, if you want to make it that bit more interesting, include more notes. See? You can just kind of elongate it a little bit, and by adding those extra notes it just gives you that little bit more to play with, which is really nice. Indrani, yeah, you're right, G, E, C, A, you've got it. Okay, so let's give this first one a go. If you're not sure about soloing, just strum and sing with me. And what we're going to do, let me just bring it to the next page. Sorry, there we go. That's it. Good. Now, if I turn to the second page, these are our verses. What we're going to do is we're going to do 3 verses. Then I'd like to do an instrumental verse. So, no, let's do 2 verses, then an instrumental, another 2 verses, instrumental, and then another 2 verses. All right, so it's the same thing over and over apart from the intro, but if you want a solo, do it after every second verse, and that'll be great. Oh, well done, Harry. I didn't think you were going to make it tonight. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so let's give it a go then. I'll just bring up my lyrics. If it looks like I'm staring off into the distance, it's just because I've got my lyrics on my iPad next door. There we go. Just get to the right page. Fantastic. Okay, let's give it a go, guys. So we're going to start with this A major to the 1 chord, and then we're just going to keep playing through those verses. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Another verse? As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. Try a solo. Or strum along with me for another verse. I roamed and rambled, I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sands of her diamond deserts, and all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. There was a high wall that tried to stop me. A sign was painted, private property, but on the backside it didn't say nothing. Well, this land was made for you and me. Take a solo. Strum with me. Okay, our final two verses now. When the sun comes shining, when I was strolling, and the wheat field waving, and the dust clouds rolling, the voice was chanting as the fog was lifting. This land was made for you and me. One more. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. Yeah, fantastic. Well done, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. That takes me back to school as well. Even though I grew up and live in England, we still used to sing a lot of American songs, and that's an absolute classic, isn't it? And it was really key in the folk movement. And I think it still has quite a lot of kind of important messages today, really. I mean, I'm big into my walking, as you guys know, and it's amazing how many of our public footpaths we've lost in Britain recently, where people just haven't fought for them, and the landowners have just kind of allowed them to overgrow or put fences up. It's really sad. And you used to be able to walk all over the UK, and you really can't anymore. It's so sad. So yeah, that's got a good message. Yeah, those dominant seventh chords, they make all the difference, don't they, Barbara? I kind of think of them almost as like leading chords. They lead you to that chord that's 5 below, don't they? Which is fantastic. Oh, no. Oh, I was going to say well done, Joe, and then I read the bit at the end where you put until you had to change chords. Yeah, it's a tricky one, that. Just a bit of a tip on that for when you're strumming or when you're changing chords. Oh, hi, Paula. Fantastic. Singing and smiling, that's what we want. That's the most important thing. So, yeah, if you're changing chords and you're doing a complicated picking pattern, or sometimes if you're just strumming, remember my tip. You've probably seen this on my beginner's course if you've been doing my courses. Allow yourself to go wrong with your fretting hand. For most people, that's your left hand. Because a lot of the time, what we'll do is we'll do a picking pattern. And then we'll stop whilst we get our fingers ready for the next chord. And of course that's no good if you're playing in a group and strumming along, because they've already moved on by the time they get there. It also means that you're kind of teaching yourself to put little stops in your music. So what I recommend is, even though it sounds really messy at first, allow this hand not to be in place. If this hand doesn't reach the second chord, still, no matter what, keep that pattern going. And it's quite good to just practice it as chucks before you do it. So what I mean is, have a listen. There's going to be a little gap before I hit the D. Have a listen. See, there's a little gap. Maybe one here before I hit the A. But that's fine. It's okay. It sounds a little bit messy, but it's better than having a gap in there. And then the more you practice, the more likely it is that you'll hit that chord that little bit sooner. So really good way to think about it. Let yourself go wrong. Give yourself a break and just keep that right hand going no matter what. That's the key for me, I think, with these patterns and learning them. So yeah, fabulous. Hi Beach, by the way. Hope you're doing well. Hi Laura. Okay, let's have a look at our next song then. So we're going to go for something like really different for this second song. We're going to do a song by the Jam. And we often don't really think about this as a protest song, but Paul Weller did say it was originally written as a protest song, this one, which is interesting. So it's called Eton Rifles, and you guys probably know Eton is a really famous public school in the UK. But David Cameron, the ex-Tory Prime Minister, he said in I think it's 2008 that this was his favourite song, and Paul Weller was absolutely gutted because the song's written in an ironic fashion and it's quite clearly against the boys from that public school. So it's kind of sticking up for, I guess, kind of the working classes and, you know, against that privilege of public education. Whether or not that's wrong depends on your politics, fine, right? But he was horrified when he heard that David Cameron said it was his favourite song, which I think is quite funny. So it is a protest song. This one's in the key of A minor. So we're going to play in a minor key. So the chord personalities, I always think about them in a minor key as being a bit jumbled up. So most of the chord personalities will have the same kind of properties, if you want. The one chord, in this case A minor, is still the home chord. That's what feels rested. Okay, when you hit that, the song feels rested. The 5 chord still has that tension. We're going to play it here. Actually, I don't think the 5 chord comes in here, but that would be an E. That would create tension. And then we've got uses of the 3 and 4 chords. Now, in a minor key, those are major chords, so they don't have that kind of sadness that they have in a major key. So think of them as the change chords, if you like, just creating a bit of drama without too much tension. So let's have a look at what's going on in terms of the piece itself. By the way, this was 1979 this was written. That was the year I was born, 1979. And it was on their album, a fantastic album, Setting Suns. It was the only real big single off that album, but it did give them their first top 10. Got to number 3 in the charts. And if you're interested in all this stuff, have a read of Karen's brilliant, fascinating facts in the back. Loads of good stuff this week, as always. So the intro starts with the one chord, which in this case is an A minor, because we're in the key of A minor. And for this one, we're going to use almost the same pattern as the last one. Remember how the last song we were going walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running. This one, we're just going to do one walk. Walk, running, 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 walk, running, 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 down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Just like that. Really simple, all right? So if you wanted to have a go at the intro, we've got an A minor. And we do that for 3. And then anytime we've got one of these measures, like just here where it says F to G, there's 2 chords in that measure. So that means you're going to split it in half. So 2 beats of F, 2 beats of G. All right, so we've got A minor, 1, 2, 3, F and G. All right, nice and simple. Then we go to the verses. Now, there's quite a lot going on in this song, it appears, but actually it's a lot easier than it looks. The verses are basically C to D. It's just about creating a sense of change in the verse and a sense of movement. So we have the 3 chord, A minor, B, C, followed by the 4 chord, A minor, B, C, D. And remember, we call the 4 chord the change chord. All right. So with that pattern, we would have C, D, C, D, C, D. And we've got 4 of those. Then we have that quick F, G. All right. I'll sing over the top with the close cam on so you can see how that works. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sup up your beer and collect your fags. There's a row going down near Slough. Get out your mats and play to the west. I'll get out mine and I'll pray for myself. Now, the first time we do that, we play another verse. All right, so another verse exactly the same. 2, 3, 4. Thought you were smart when you took them on, but you didn't take a peep in their artillery room. All that rugby puts hairs on your chest. What chance have you got against a tiny crest? Isn't that great, that F to G? It just creates a sense of excitement. Paul Weller used to do that a lot in jam songs, where just before a chorus, he'd do 2 chords, but just for 2 beats each. 1, 2, 1, 2. Because it creates a sense of excitement, which is really good. Then we go to the next section. Here we've got the 6 chord, which is another major chord, followed by the 7 chord. Notice how we've got 2 major chords, one a step higher than the other. In the verses, it's C to D, and in the chorus, F to G. All right, so it's a repeat of that F to G at the end. So, yeah, sorry, Joe, that blank one, we've written the number, but I think we just forgot to put the chord in. So that'll be another D there. So C, D, C, D, C, D, C, D, and then F, G. All right, so yeah, we just forgot to write the chord in, but the 4 chords there. So that's the one. All right, so chorus then, we've got a quick F to G. Then we've got 3 really quick chords. Luckily, they're nice, simple ones. C, G, A minor. Okay. Now notice there's those little slash marks next to them. That's how many beats. 1 C, 1 G, and then 2 A minors. Okay, so you can think of that as 1, 1, 1, 2. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So from the start of the chorus, F, G, C, G, A minor. Let's practice that round. It's the toughest part. You got this. 1, 2, 3, 4. F and G and C, G, A minor. Yeah, one more time. 2, 3, 4. F and G and C, G, A minor. Yeah, good. Then we just stay on the A minor for another measure. Eton rifles And then at the end, A minor 7, just take that finger away. A minor 7 is our favourite chord in the world because it's no fingers at all. Okay, just open. So I'll put one of those choruses together so you can hear how it sounds. I'll stay on close camera actually so you can see my fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello, hooray, what a nice old day for the Eton Rifles, Eton Rifles. Hello, hooray, the rain stops play for the Eton Rifles, Eton Rifles. Like that. Then we're just back to another verse. Thought you were clever when you lit the fuse, tore down the House of Commons in your brand new shoes, and so on and so forth. So relatively straightforward. It's just that F, G, C, G bit in the chorus takes a little bit of practice. You can always work on this. If you're watching the playback, you could pause it and come back to it. All right. So that's most of the song. The bridge is the only different bit. We go to the 5 chord for a bit of change, so the tension of the 5 chord. It's an E minor. Because we're in a minor key, the 5 chord is an E minor. All right, so minor keys, the 5 is generally an E minor, unless they turn it into, say, an E7. And again, notice that Paul Weller's doing another classic songwriting trick, like he did in the verse and the chorus. We've got a chord followed by the chord above it. So E followed by F. And we do that twice. This is really lovely in the bridge. 2, 3, 4. What a catalyst you turned out to be. Loaded the guns, then you ran off home for your tea. And then we hit that G. Left me standing like a naughty schoolboy. All right. Let's have a go at that. We'll put that all together. Let me just get my key a second. Okay, here we go. Let's try the bridge then. 2, 3, 4. What a catalyst you turned out to be. Loaded the guns, then you ran off home for your tea. Like a naughty schoolboy. Isn't that great? That tension of the G just building and building, which is fantastic. Thanks, Laura. Thank you. I'm going to think it's a good year because the song came out rather than I was born. But I did, yeah. 1979 was a special year for me. I wouldn't exist if it didn't happen. Okay, so one more bit, solo, and you might think, oh my gosh, another bit, but it's really easy. It's just C to D 4 times, just like in the verse, only instead of going F and G at the end, we have A minor, then A minor 7. So that's really, really simple for that one. Now, if you want to solo over that one, because this has got a kind of a bit of a grittiness to it, it's quite, in some ways, it's quite a dark and angry song, isn't it? So for this one, you can use the C major pentatonic or the A minor, which is what we'd normally use. But if you want to, you could even go and use the C blues. And you might think, why use the C blues? We're in the key of A minor. Well, C is the relative major of A minor, so it kind of works, and it works really neat. So if you want to do the C blues, that's open C, D at the 2nd fret, open E, F. Oh, I'm on C major and not C blues. Must be. There it is. It's hiding away. Okay. F, G flat, G, and then B flat, C. So off 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 3. And if you want to break out for a little bit more tension, we can even go up to the 6th fret, and we can come back here. Those notes, Karen's redoing these at the moment. It should be the 6th fret for both that E flat and B flat. It looks like it's the 7th, but it should be the 6th. All right. So, oh, college was a good time though, wasn't it, Karen? I don't know. It depends. It depends, I suppose. So that's your C blues scale. You can even use the A blues scale as well if you want, which is kind of up. Where is it? It's Oh, we've only got the A major blues scale up there. I'll just show you if you wanted to use the A blues scale, it's way up here starting at the 9th fret of your C string. We go up to the 12th, 10, 11, 12 and 10, 12. So if you wanted to go really high, it's the same shape as the C major. So you could have a little bit of a play. If you want to be, oh cool, nice Charlene. So if you want to be really cool, what you could do if you want to go real full on Paul Weller is you could do the first, where is it? You could do the first section of solo where it's C and D using the C blues scale, and then hit the A blues scale when you get to the A minor. It's quite tricky to do, and I'll probably get this horribly wrong, but it sounds really cool. Let me see if I can play a backing track so you can hear what I mean. So here we go. So C. Oh, hang on a second. It's wrong camera. There we go. So C major, C blues scale. Then A minor. So you can kind of change between the two. That wasn't a very imaginative solo because I just basically played through the scales pretty much. But just to give you an idea, if you jump up to that A scale when you hit that A minor, it sounds really good. If in doubt, don't worry about it too much. So yeah. Yeah, that could be an idea, Karen. Yeah, I'll send it. I'll do you a little diagram. Yeah, I'll do you a little diagram. Okay, so let's give this one a go then. So in terms of the structure, we've got that intro, then we just go verse, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. And then the second bit, we've got two bridges. We've got bridge, solo, bridge, and then verse, chorus, chorus again. So the bridges are the bits where it starts with E minor. Where we go to the solo, I think I'm just going to check my notes. I think we do a chorus for that solo. Let me just check my notes. I think it is. Yeah, let's do a chorus for that. Oh no, of course. Sorry, I'm having a daft moment. For the solo, we've got these chords here, haven't we? I was being really daft, sorry. So we've got verses and choruses, bridges at a bit in E minor, and then when we do the solo, it's these chords here. And you can always strum with me, or you can do your blues scales and do a bit of a noodle, have a bit of fun, see if you can do it. All right, let's have a go. Oh, one last thing. If you want to go real Paul Weller-y, one of my favourite little tricks is for the first beat of a measure. This is really tricky, so I'm just gonna show it to you. Don't worry if you're not able to do this right away. But rather than just hitting a chord at the first beat of each measure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Instead of strumming once, try strumming up, down. Sorry, down, up, down. Try strumming down, up, down really quickly like this. Down, up, down. Down, up, down. See if you can speed it up even faster. Down, up, down. It's like a little shake and it just sounds really cool at the start of a section. So I like to do it on the kind of start of the intro and also the F to G bits. I'll show you what I mean. Like that. And now quite often when we go to the F, G bit in the verse, second half of the verse here. Here we go. Did you see that? It's just a little shake. Now that's really tricky and you might not be able to get that yet, but it's a really cool little technique to have a practice on. And it's literally just a down, up, down in the space of one beat. You just need to practice it round and round. And if you want, just play it normally tonight. And then when you've got a bit more time, have a little practice of that. It'll sound really cool. Let's move that over a little bit. Okay. All right, let's give it a go then, guys. Let's give it our best. I'm just going to tip down so you can see a little bit better. My uke. There we go. Here we go. Right, let me just bring my lyrics up. I'll get out mine and I'll pray for myself. Now for verse, thought you were smart when you took them on, but you didn't take a peep in their artillery room. All that rugby puts hairs on your chest. What chance have you got against the tiny crest? Hello, hooray, what a nice day for the Eton Rifles, Eton Rifles. Hello, hooray, rain stops play for the Eton Rifles, Eton Rifles. But you were clever when you lit the fuse, tore down the House of Commons in your brand new shoes, composed a revolutionary symphony, then went to bed with a charming young queen. Hello, hooray, cheers that make us Eton Rifles, Eton Rifles. Hello, hooray, an extremist scrape with the Eton Rifles, Eton Rifles. What a catalyst you turned out to be, loaded the guns and you ran off home for your tea. Left me standing like a guilty schoolboy. Take a solo. A minor 7, and another bridge. What a catalyst you turned out to be, loaded the guns, then you ran off home for your tea. Left me standing like a naughty schoolboy. Another verse. We came out of it naturally the worst, beaten and bloody, I was sick down my shirt. They're no match for the untamed wit. Those summer lads said they'd be back next week. Hello, hooray, it's a price to pay for the Eton Rifles, Eton Rifles. Hello, hooray, I prefer the play to the Eton Rifles, Eton Rifles. Hello, hooray, it's a price to pay for the Eton Rifles, Eton Rifles. Hello, hooray, I prefer the play to the Eton Rifles, Eton Rifles, Eton Rifles. Sorry, that was a bit mad. It was so fast I couldn't get the words out quick enough. That's one of the things with Paul Weller. He was such a poet, wasn't he, as well as a songwriter, and those lyrics are just fantastic. But I can't get them out quick enough. Oh, we're getting all the 1979s. Oh, don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. There's no such thing as old. It's absolutely, it's all good. It's all good. Oh, thanks, Karen. Yeah, if you can hit the thumbs up button, that really helps the YouTube algorithms to pick us up. So thank you. And the sun is shining in Colorado. Yay! We've actually had a really nice day here. It was beautiful sunshine earlier. The clouds have come over and it's raining again now. But this morning we had some beautiful sunshine. And I've noticed locally, this is really nerdy, but some of the butterflies, they're not out yet, but their caterpillars, they've come out of hibernation a little bit earlier. There's a really lovely word over here. This is proper nerdy. I think I'm saying it right. It's called apricity, and it's the word for summer. It's the word for sunshine in the winter, when you get an unseasonably sunshiny day in the winter, and you know some of the things come out early, so like primroses might come out early, and these were marsh fritillary butterflies. They're caterpillars. They make these little webs and you get hundreds of these little black things together, and out on the commons they've started to bask in the sunshine. They've not started eating yet, but they're getting there. So yeah. Oh, Beach played the bass riff. That is really cool, Beach. Nicely done, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, so we've had a bit of apricity. I think that's the right name. It's some winter sunshine here, which has been really, really nice. Couple of things just to remind you again. We've got our 12th Street Rag workshop next Wednesday, which I'm super, super excited about, and I'm going to teach you the split strum as well. So that's next Wednesday. 5th of February at 3:30. We've got our regular Kanikapila, be back next Monday, and we're running right through until I'm away on the cruise at the end of February. So we've got quite a few Mondays to go before then, before I'm away. If you're ever not sure, if you check the Facebook page in the pinned notices on the Facebook page, Karen does a brilliant calendar, so you can see in advance what weeks we're here and when we're away and things like that. And then Beatles course continues this week as well. This is what the last lesson I did, a chord melody finger style version of yesterday, but we're also going to have a really nice strummed version of I Saw Her Standing There coming up soon as well, which is going to be really exciting. And then don't forget, next cruise has been announced. I'm super excited about this. So we're going, I'm just checking my messages. Oh, I've lost it now. Where is it? We're going to sailing out Fort Lauderdale again. We're going to Antigua, St. Kitts, San Juan and Puerto Plata. I'm probably saying that wrong. Might be Plata. You guys will know better than that. February 13th to the 22nd next year. So if you missed out this year, come and join us in the Caribbean. It's going to be absolutely fantabulous. So come and join us. And don't forget the Spanish adventure as well, which is this May. Let me just bring that up. The 22nd to the 26th of May for the Spanish adventure in Galsin. All the details are on the Facebook page. And also, we've got 2 more spaces left for the retreat this summer. If anyone missed out, do check out the website because we've got 2 tickets for the summer retreat. And the teachers are crazy good this year. I mean, it's hard to beat last year, right? With James Hill and Aaron Kime and so many great teachers, and Sam and Jeff. But next year we've got Sam and Jeff, amazing teachers coming back, and we've got Matt Hicks, Lester T. Webb, and we've also got Peter Luongo, who taught James Hill to play amongst other people. An incredible brilliant, talented, enthusiastic teacher from Canada. Really big name in the ukulele world. So well worth coming to. And of course, we've got our Christmas winter retreat as well. So if you want to book ahead for Christmas, go for it. So loads happening. We've got no big festival this year, but loads of little things. Not little at all, but, you know, just in comparison to the massive festival, which will be back next year. I'm also playing Shriekfest as well, if anyone's over in the UK, so you can come and see me there as well. So let's have another song then. So we're going to go for a really old protest song again. This time we're going to do Pete Seeger and Lee Hayes. This was actually originally recorded by the Weavers. And Pete Seeger in the 50s, you know, of the McCarthy witch trials and everything, for the communist kind of communist, what do you call it? Yeah, I guess communist witch trials. Pete Seeger was really targeted for that. So Decca dropped him, he lost all his recording contracts, all a bit mad really, just because he stood up for what he believed in, which is a little bit nuts. So this is a song called If I Had a Hammer. And you'll see with a lot of folk stuff, you'll hear this hammer coming up again and again. And it can be taken literally, but really it's just to represent the working man. So this is kind of all about standing up for the working man, as you would probably expect from Pete Seeger. Fantastic song, covered by over 600 people since it was recorded originally in 1949. So absolutely brilliant. Loads more details in Karen's fascinating facts in the back as well. So do check that out. Thanks, Karen, for all your work on that. So, oh, nice, fantastic. You're not going to believe, yay, Steve's come to Shriekfest. Fantastic. I'm going to get my Viking costume ready. Oh, no, it's Scots this year. I'll get my kilt. Funny enough, my first uke, the first song I ever learnt on a uke was Karma Chameleon by Culture Club. I've no idea why, but it just was the first song I ever learnt, maybe because it was easy. All right, so let's have a look at this one. We're in the key of C, the people's key appropriately. The reason the key of C is so lovely to play in, and we call it the people's key, is it doesn't have any sharp or flats in terms of notes or chords. And the chords are relatively easy to play in the key of C as well. So C is going to be our 1 chord. Then notice we've got the 4 chord. That's all about creating change without too much drama. And so many folk songs just go between 1 and 4. That's the most common thing to do in a folk song. And look what happens in the intro. We've got exactly that. We're just good. Let's do the same strum we did for the last song, but just slow it down. We're going to do walk, running, 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 walk, running, 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 walk, running, 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 like that. Okay, keep it simple. Oh yeah, I know, Barbara. I wish we could coordinate it all sometimes, honestly. But yeah, that would be a long summer holiday if you stayed for both, wouldn't it? Although, I mean, why not, eh? It's all good. It's all good. So C to F. So that's your intro, just going between the 1 and 4 chords. And then if we have a look at the verses, really straightforward. We've got the 1 and the 4 chord back to 1, really common thing to do. And then we've got the 4 chord again, and then the 5 chord at the end to create some tension. So real classic folk chords, this. So the verses, if I was to just play one of those, really, really simple, again and again. If I had a hammer, then F. I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, then F, all over this land. Okay, really simple like that. Let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3. I'd hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this town. The next bit's really interesting because we go to the relative minor of C, which is A minor. That's a really common thing to do. I'm sure loads of you that have been watching Kanikapila for years, you'll know that the most common chord to start a new section is the relative minor, which is always the 6th chord, C, D, E, F, G, A minor. Or we use the 4 chord. And interestingly here, Pete Seeger uses both. We have the A minor first, and then the 4 chord, and the only difference is 1 finger, right? You've just got to put this finger down and off. A minor, F, and we do it again. And then we have F and C, F and C, F and C, and G, and C again. So really, really simple. Quick changes the F to C, but really, really nice simple chords, which is lovely. Interestingly, this chorus, I've seen it written loads of different ways. When Peter, Paul and Mary covered it in the 60s, they changed the chords slightly. And quite a lot of old songs, like a lot of Woody Guthrie and even Bob Dylan songs, have been covered later on and they've added extra chords in. Similarly to that, when the Beach Boys did Sloop John B, that was a traditional folk song and they took the chords and they added extra chords in to make it a bit more pop-tastic. These chords are the most similar to what I hear when Pete Seeger did it originally, basically. All right, just in case you see them different online and you think, that's not what Matt wrote. There's lots of different versions, but I like this kind of original. Okay, now that's basically it. Really, really simple for this one. We're going to do an instrumental verse and chorus. And for that, you can use your C major pentatonic or A minor. Now those are whoops, wrong one. That's my favourite scale because remember that's all of the dots on your A string. So pentatonics, if you have a look at the key next to me, notice all of those notes, they fall on the open A string. And then you've got the 3rd fret. Some ukes have a dot there, some don't. 5th fret dot, 7th fret dot, 10th fret dot, you get it. 12th fret dot. And you can even go up to the 15th. So you can play a solo just using those notes there. You can also play the dots on the E string, open E, 3, 5, but remember we go up to 8. We don't play the 7th fret just because of the notes that fall on the E string. And then you can also hit open and second fret for C. You can play those dots down there. Now if you want to, you could fill in the gap. So rather than just C major pentatonic, C, D, E, G, A, C, you could play all of the notes in the key of C, like we did in the first song. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Those all work as well. And with these folk ones, I really like to play through the whole major scale. I think it just sounds a little bit more effective than just the pentatonic, which can be really, really nice. So if I give you an example, I'll come in on the close camera. I'll see if I can get a backing track for this one going. Let's have a look. Here we go. Or just along the A string with the dots. So there's quite a lot you can do just hitting those dots on the A string if in doubt, which is really, really nice. So do have a little go at trying a solo on this one. Now in terms of the structure, we're going to go verse, chorus, easy so far, right? Then we're going to do verse, chorus instrumentally, and you can take a little solo if you like. Then verse, chorus, and then finally just another chorus at the end. That's the only thing to work out. Because in the instrumental we're playing a verse and a chorus, it literally just goes verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Just make sure right at the end we're playing 2 choruses. You'll see when we get there, so yeah, you'll be fine. Okay, let's have a go at this one then. Fantastic. Let me just bring it up a little bit bigger and put it there. Fantastic. Okay, here we go. So let's get our folk on, everyone. Let me just bring my lyrics up. There it is. Okay, let's do the intro then. C to F twice, and then we'll start with our verse. 1, 2, 3, 4. So C, F, C, and F. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning. Oh, I'm so sorry. I wasn't concentrating. I was playing the wrong chords. Can we do that again from the top? I always go a bit doolally at this point in Kanikapila. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, do, C. Here we go. Now verse. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning. I'd hammer in the evening. All over this land. Chorus. I'd hammer out danger. I'd hammer out a warning. I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. Hey, let's go again. If I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning. Ring it in the evening, all over this land. Chorus. I'd bring out danger, I'd ring out a warning. I'd ring out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. Good, take a solo. Those pentatonic notes, or strumming thing. Here comes chorus. Keep soloing if you are. And another verse. If I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning. I'd sing it in the evening, all over this land. I'd sing out danger, I'd sing out a warning. I'd sing out love between my brothers and my sisters all I've got a bell, and I've got a song to sing all over this land. It's the hammer of justice. Da, da, dee, dee, dee. Oh, I went wrong. Sorry, guys. Let's go from... Oh, man, I was really enjoying that as well. I wasn't concentrating. I was enjoying that too much. Can we go from the verse after the instrumental where it says, if I had a song? Sorry, guys. I was really enjoying that as well. Oh, let's try it again. In fact, let's do the whole thing again. Come on, let's just go from the start. I will get it right this time. I absolutely promise. From the start. 1, 2, 3, 4. And F, C. I just like this song. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning. I'd hammer in the evening. All over this land. I'd hammer out danger. I'd hammer out a warning. I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. If I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning. I'd ring it in the evening. All over this land. I'd ring out danger. I'd ring out a warning. I'd ring out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. Take an instrumental. Second time, we'll get it right. If I had a song, I'd sing it in the morning. I'd sing it in the evening. All over this land. I'd sing out danger. I'd sing out a warning. I'd sing out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. I've got a hammer, and I've got a bell, and I've got a song to sing all over this land. Now 2 choruses. It's the hammer of justice. It's the bell of freedom. It's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. Have a chorus? It's a hammer of justice. It's a bell of freedom. It's a song about love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. Well done, everyone. Second time lucky. Oh, don't. I had to do it again because that's one of my all-time favourite songs, so I couldn't get it wrong and just leave it at that, so I hope you don't mind. It's just such a pleasant one to play and sing, isn't it? And the message is so... I think it's kind of more important than ever, frankly. So, good on Pete Seeger. A bit of a hero of mine. Okay, let's have a look at our last song tonight. It's gone quickly, hasn't it? We're going to do a classic piece of jazz. So, as you all know, every week on the Facebook group, and if you're not a member of the Facebook group, it's well worth signing up. Totally free to join the Facebook group. And we do challenges. The one at the moment is love songs, challenging you to perform a love song of your own or someone else's, because we've got Valentine's Day coming up. Oh, thanks, Janine. Glad to hear. Thanks, guys. Thanks for that. So we've got a challenge on love songs, which is really fun. And because some people have won twice now, rather than just the badges, I'm sending out some prizes as well. So a couple of people got straps this time, and I'll do some straps or books in the next one as well. So well worth entering. But the other thing we do is Karen has a poll there every week where you guys get to choose a song from the Kanikapila Vault, something that we've done before. And as Shell, and sorry, I forgot to say hello, Shell. I know you were here earlier. I think you're still there, aren't you? Shell pointed out last week that last week was our 100th Kanikapila, which is like a bit mind-blowing, to be honest. And that's just since I started doing my website. There were quite a few before that as well. So there's a wealth of stuff to pick from. And this time you guys picked On the Sunny Side of the Street, which I'm incredibly happy about because it's one of my favourite songs of all time. It's great. And Barbara, I totally agree. You just can't not smile and play that song. Such a lovely message and such a optimistic chords, isn't it? It's really, really cool. So this one is a jazz classic. Now, it was kind of originally the copyright went to two songwriters. But since then, we're pretty sure that this one was actually written by Fats Waller. And Fats Waller, early on in his career, he used to give away a lot of his songs and sell them off, basically, to earn a quick buck, which was a good idea at the time, but in retrospect, probably not, because the royalties that he would have got if he hadn't sold the copyright were much more. But anyway, so I actually think of this as a Fats Waller song. And when you analyse the chords, they're very Fats Waller-esque. Fats Waller used to use a lot of these quite simple jazz chords and some really common chord combinations that he used a lot. The 2-5-1s, using the 3 chord as the second chord and things like that. So I'm pretty sure it is, and it sounds a little bit like Ain't Misbehaving in some ways as well. So I'm pretty sure it's Fats Waller. So this one was... Oh, I haven't written down when it's originally released, but you can read the fascinating facts and stuff if you're interested. Now, this one, there's a lot more chord changes. There's lots going on, but it's they're really beautiful. So we start with the 1 chord. We're in the key of C one more time, so no sharps and flats, and we start almost as always with the 1 chord. Okay, just our C major. Then we go to the 3 chord, but played as an E7. Normally the 3 would be played as an E minor in the key of C, but we have an E7. And I think what he's doing there is it's quite clever. A lot of songs around about that time, they start with the C chord, go into the 3 chord, and then they would go to this A7, D7, G7, C. You probably know that from 5'2", right? 5'2", eyes of blue, but oh, what those 5 foot could do. Has anybody seen my girl? It's a really common thing to do. So I think he's kind of hinting at that. We've almost got that classic jazz combination. But instead of going to the A7 after E7, we go to the 4 chord, the next one up. And then we go to the 5 chord, the next one up again. So we're rising diatonically. The only chord we haven't got there is the 2. So we've got 1, 3, 4, 5. And you can almost feel that tension building as it goes up, which is really nice. Now, after that, we've got a G sharp diminished 7th. Now, diminished 7th chords, they're generally based on the 7th scale degree, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And that would be a B in the key of C. So this chord we call a secondary diminished 7th. It means we've nicked it from another key. The reason it works is it's only half a step away from the chord before it, so it kind of leads it into it and it sounds nice. And there's only 1 note difference between a G7 and a G sharp diminished 7. Now, a couple of ways you could do this. You can either just take your G7, and this is a naughty way of doing it, which I do sometimes, thumb over the top, and I just use my thumb to hit this G sharp note here on the G string. Now, you might think that's really naughty, but George Formby used to play it like that, and he was a very talented ukulele player. But the proper in inverted commas way of doing it is with 4 fingers like this. And that allows you to keep the thumb on the back of the ukulele, which is better form if you can. Now, that might seem tricky, but it's not too bad. Just think about a G chord shape on the top 3 strings, and then your little finger down here. Or you can think of it as your last 3 fingers playing a G7 and this one up here. All right. So you could even play your G7 like that. You could use your last 3 fingers and then you can add that one on. But either way, just see if you can get it. Because it's only 1 note different from G7, you can get away with just playing G7 there as well. Be absolutely fine. Don't sweat it. All right. So that makes the first bit. We're just going to do an up and down swing strum to this. Nothing fancy at all. Grab your hoe, grab your coat, and get your hand. Leave your worries on the doorstep. And then we go to the relative minor for this next bit. And remember, that's a common thing to do for a little bit of a change, which is really nice. Oh, Joe's just saying if you use your pointer and ring to make the F chord, it sets up an easy transition to G and G7. Oh, Joe, well spotted. That's a great idea. So what Joe's saying, and she's right, if you use these 2 fingers, you can then go to the G7 there and that one like that. So you've just got to remember when you do that F to use your middle 2 fingers. That's a great idea, Joe. So grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Isn't that great? And Barbara's got a question. Would the picking roll work for this song? Do you know what? By Jove, I think it would. Let me try it. I think it would. Oh, I don't think, do you know what, Barbara, it doesn't quite work because this one's got a swing to it and it just kind of complicates it a little bit. So I would probably do I would do a top to bottom pick like this. If you go from your G string to your A string and then come back again, E, C, G. So numbers, that's 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Or G, C, E, A, E, C. And then just rest on that C. Yeah, that's the way I would pick this one. But again, you can experiment, see what works with you. But I think the roll is a straight roll. It's quite hard to do it with swing. So an interesting kind of dilemma that. Okay, so quite swings just where we're playing slightly behind the beat. So straight would be, but where? All right. So just in case anyone's wondering what I mean by swing. So let's have a look at the second half then. So we've got A minor. You could do a Hawaiian D7, or if you like a barred one. Then we've got one of the most famous chord combinations in all of jazz music, 2, D minor, and we're going to add our little finger down here to this C note for a D minor 7. It's called a D minor 7 because it's a D minor with the 7th note in the key of D, which is C here. And then you can pivot on this first finger to a G7 and then C. Now, the first verse, we're going to hit another one of these G7s because it's the 5 chord, remember, it sets up all that tension, makes you want to go back to the start. But when we go to the bridge, because it starts with a C, we don't play the G7 at the end. I'll play the first 2 verses so you can get an idea of how that will sound. I'll stay on close cam, so it'll sound like this. Oh, just move my lyrics, there we go. Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. G7. Can't you hear a pitter pat? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. This time stay on C, because the next section starts in C, so we don't want another G7 necessarily, we're just going to stay there. Now this bit's really lovely. We've got C going to F. And remember Barbara mentioned in one of the earlier songs how those nice dominant 7th chords create a lovely sound. And the same thing's happening in here. When we go from C to an F, we often play a C7 in between. Why is that? Well, what's happening is that this B flat note in C7 is only half a step away from this A note. We play 2 A notes actually, one here and one here in the F. So this note leads to this note in F. So you get this beautiful change, which is lovely. And then we've got D7, which is 5 above the G7 that follows. Now there's a lovely little trick in this one where we dip back to a G diminished 7. This is different from the G sharp diminished 7th. It's it's a half a step flat compared to a G diminished. Now if I did that G sharp diminished 7th, if I took that back, I'd have a G diminished 7th, right? G sharp to G. And that's what's happening here. But because these 2 fingers fall off the fretboard, we only need 2 fingers down. So when we do this G diminished 7th dip down here, we strum 3 G7s, 1, 2, 3, and just dip the chord back. This finger kind of comes off the edge. And then we go back again. And notice the slash marks. We've got 3 G7s, 1, 2, 3, 1 dip, and then we're back again. I played that bridge nice and slowly. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on parade, but now I'm not afraid. Here it comes. This rover crossed over. Just hear that 1, 2, 3, 1, 1. And then we go back into another never have a sense, and so on and so forth. Really, really cool classic chord changes. I love this song. Indrani, I'm with you. I just think this is an absolute classic and it's just fantastic. So that's brilliant. That gives us our verses and our bridges. Really, really fantastic. And I think what we should do for this one is let's do, because it goes verse, verse, bridge, verse. Let's do that twice. But if you want a solo, let's do another verse, verse, bridge, verse, but instrumentally, so you can have a solo if you like. Now, the cool thing is you'll use exactly the same notes that we did in the last song. So if you want a solo to this, you can use your A minor pentatonic or your C major pentatonic, all these notes here. Remember, it's all your dots on the A string and then all your dots on the E string apart from the 7th and a couple of extras. All right, so really nice one to solo with, this one. So we'll do that over the whole of verse, verse, bridge, verse. I'll show you what I mean. So if I bring one up, there we go. This is such a joy to solo over this one as well because the chord changes are so lovely. So you get something like this. Let's have a look. Oh, that's I forgot when I recorded this early. It's a lot quicker, but that's all right. Now I'm prepared for it. Now, there's there's a cool thing that you can do with this solo as well, which sounds really, really nice. To kind of jazz up a solo, rather than going full on jazz solo using like chord tones and things like that, what you can do is you can do some little in-between notes, chromatic notes. So, and they sound really jazzy and cool. So, you know, when you're playing two notes together, such as this, let's say this D note to this E note, it sounds really lovely if you actually play the note in between. If I'm going from here, this high G, down to here to this E, I'll sometimes play all the notes. And it sounds really cool. So rather than something like this, you could get something like something really cool going on, and it just sounds really, really neat. So much jazzier. See that? So have a little experiment. It just sounds so cool when you hit those chromatic notes in between. And the cool thing is, as long as you resolve those notes to a right note, there's no wrong ones. I can play every note on the A string. Let me just show you quick, because it's really cool. So when I started, I literally played every single fret on the A string, but it didn't sound wrong because I resolved it to a right note. I hit those right notes on the strong beats, which sounds nice. Yeah, Karen, Craig and Sarah do a great version of this. I've seen them play. I think I've played this with them live. I think I've done this on stage with them actually, Karen. Yeah, they do a brilliant version, absolutely. Yeah, slides make a nice difference as well. And quite often, Beach, sometimes I do little bends as well, which can sound super sweet. Come on, let's give it a go. I will stay around for another 5-10 minutes at the end just to say goodbye and see if there's any questions. But as always, I want to say a massive thank you to everyone that supported me this week. If you want to send any tips, I don't have it there anymore, but it's paypal.me/the Ukraine if you want to send any virtual tips. Links in the description as well. Thank you so much for all your support. It's so nice to see you all. If you haven't already join up, learn ukulele with Matt, mattsteadukulele.com, and have loads of fun with everyone doing the courses. There's 10 courses on there now, loads of stuff and loads of extras. All right, let's get on there. Our very last song of the night. Remember, we're going to go verse, verse, bridge, verse. Then we're going to do exactly the same again, but instrumentally, and then verse, verse, bridge, verse. So same thing 3 times. Isn't that a lovely picture of Fat Swallow? That's one of Esther's wonderful drawings. Okay, let's have a try then from the top. Oh, I just get my lyrics up. I think we'll play it a bit slower than the version I did in the solo, but not crazy slow, but we'll just slow it down a little bit, maybe about there. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. And again, can't you hear that pitter-pat? And the happy tune is your step. Sorry guys, I did it again. I'm so sorry. One more time. Second time lucky, just like last song. 1, 2, 3. Grab your coat and get your hat. Leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear a pitter-pat? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. I used to walk in the shade with those blues on on the sunny side of the street. Take a solo. Your hand, leave your worries on the doorstep. Just direct your feet to the sunny side of the street. Can't you hear the pitter-pat? And that happy tune is your step. Life can be so sweet on the sunny side of the street. With those blues on parade, but now I'm not afraid. This rover crossed over. If I never have a sense, I'll be as rich as Rockefeller. Gold dust at my feet on the sunny side again. The sunny side, the sunny side of the street. Fantastic. Well done, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed that. That was fun tonight. There were some really, really cool songs. Absolutely brilliant. So we will, of course, be back with another Kanikapila next week. What were you looking at next week? I did the sheets today. Oh yeah, we're going to do some really classic songs next week. I was trying to think of a nice theme, and I was thinking about maybe At the Movies, but we did do a similar thing a while ago. So I thought what I'll do is I'll do something slightly more specific. So what we're going to do next week is we're going to do Oscar winning songs. So all songs from films, but that have actually won an Oscar. And every year they have a best original song from a film, and the Oscars go back to the 1930s, so there was an awful lot to choose from. So we've got some real classics. We've got Moon River, really, really beautiful. What else have we got? I'm trying to remember what other ones we've got. Got Moon River. Let me see if I can find in my emails. Talk amongst yourselves. We've got, one of my absolute favourites, Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, with this beautiful line cliche. Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean that I do. I'm never gonna stop the rain from complaining. Such a brilliant song, isn't it? So Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head. And what else have we got? Let's see. We've also got, I've Had the Time of My Life, a bit of Dirty Dancing. I've had the time of my life, but I couldn't have, Anyway, so loads and loads of fun, and Moon River as well. Plus we'll have your People's Choice. I think we're going to do Spirit in the Sky next week for the People's Choice, so that's going to be fun. Karen, I had so much fun working out that one earlier. I've had the time of my life. I kind of grew up with Dirty Dancing. I'm an 80s kid, so I absolutely love that film. So yeah, I had lots of fun singing that, really hamming it up in our kitchen. I think Sharon wondered what the heck was going on. She had a serious work meeting next door, and there I was in the kitchen spinning round singing I've Had the Time of My Life. But yeah, we didn't do the famous scene. I didn't lift Karen Karen up over my head. So Sharon even. But yeah, oh my goodness. But what a great song. Thanks, David. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Laura. Thank you. And I'm going to read that as you've had the time of your life tonight, Karen. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Well, I hope you did have fun tonight. It's been loads of fun, hasn't it? It's always such a joy to see you all. It's an absolute pleasure. So we will be back next Monday for another one, which is going to be fantastic. And remember, next week we've also got our next live lesson where we're going to do 12 Street Rag as well, which is going to be really good. Karen's brother worked on a movie as a boom operator where Patrick Swayze was one of the actors. Wow! That is a proper claim to fame, that is. How amazing is that? Did you get to do that famous scene at the end? Nobody puts baby in the corner. That's so cool. Oh, not that movie, but a different one. Gotcha. That's so cool, though, working with Patrick Swayze. How neat is that? Amazing. Fantastic. Thanks, Beach. Thanks, Victoria. Well, take care, everyone. I hope you had loads of fun tonight. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Stay warm if you're in one of the cold places like we are. Stay safe, and we'll catch up soon. Solidarity, brothers and sisters. Take care. Bye.